who went 2-1, so both have been in this similar situation. We'll see if maybe where it's a round of 16, getting a chance to go to round of 8 is a little bit more pressure, but we'll find out as both runners start off, and we get a powder in the uncle's house and the key in the sanctuary chest. So super early powder, and finding that key is gonna probably lend to things being in the sanctuary dark rooms. And we got a quick map check from LewdDolphin. Believe that was the 5 or 6 in Eastern and Crystal 2 at Tower of Hera. Did not see what Palace, or excuse me, Desert Palace was. All right, so just green rupees for ZebraUnicorn. Not going to be a nice tree pull there, and LewdDolphin's getting that same information, but does get a bomb drop off of the green electric monster. Not really sure what they're called, but oh, the bush crab also having bomb drops. That will be very valuable information going forward for LewdDolphin, as we get a piece of heart and a full heart in the uncle and the chest by the uncle, and just 20 rupees in Lumberjack Cave. So ZebraUnicorn, after getting that chest from the sanctuary, just saves and quits real quick, and it looks like they're gonna head down to the grove and probably try to get some of those bomb drops. You got a 50% chance of getting bombs from these bushes over here right below the dig spot area, as LewdDolphin gets some more bombs from the bush crab. All right, and picks up 50 rupees for LewdDolphin. Not a bad find. That'll definitely help going further forward, though they do not need the money at this point for bombs, as LewdDolphin finally does get one bomb. It's gonna try to get some more, it looks like, though. All right, so now we see LewdDolphin is going to be working their way into the top half of Kakariko, and ZebraUnicorn, meanwhile, will be coming from the bottom, and we see just 20 rupees on the digging game, or excuse me, on the race game. We will not be seeing our runners go for that. Not valuable enough for the time it spends there. ZebraUnicorn will head into see what is on the library as LewdDolphin heads into Blind's Hut, and that is just a 5-arrow upgrade in the library. So at this point, boots are not going to be required. We will have to wait for quite a while to see if that is the case later on. In Blind's Hut, we have 20 rupees, triple bombs, 10 arrows, and a 5-arrow upgrade. And there was just believe it was another 20 rupees inside of the tavern for ZebraUnicorn, and the power gloves in Blind's Hut. So that is our first real item for progression, and that is in Blind's Hut behind the bombable wall. So bomb's definitely important in this seed, as ZebraUnicorn is going to bomb the hut down here, pick up their free bombs. Not a bad idea. They're going to be able to save their money. Then they actually only have 31 rupees at this point, so definitely good to be able to get those free bombs as LewdDolphin heads into the well. And we find more bombs, so LewdDolphin definitely feeling pretty comfortable with their amount of bombs at 8 right now. Gonna find another piece of heart. So far, Kakariko, with all of its chest, has not had too much, but we do get a blue rupee, or the blue mel, and it's another 50 rupees and a 20 rupees. So plenty of rupees for LewdDolphin at this point. Oh, and in the chicken hut, we have a blue potion. So that is really, really nice find for ZebraUnicorn, and LewdDolphin, of course, will be getting this as well. Always nice getting an item like the bottle inside of Kakariko so you can turn into the sick kid while you're here. Best way to get it, as the sick kid gives the fighter shield. So blue goo for the fighter shield. Nothing too exciting right there. All right, so now we're going to go through both our runners, going through places where the other has been. As we go through this, again, I just like to point out that both of these runners have made it this far in the tournament. Once again, please give them a follow. They put on quite the show so far, and they will continue doing so. This should be another exciting race between them when they are 1-1 in their best of 3. So please give our runners a follow. And a quick shout out to our restreamer SD Azel for making all this possible, and our tracker Draco Falcone for making it so that I do not have to worry about making sure that I see everything going on, knowing where our runners are. Do my best, though. It is very nice not to have to worry about marking those on the tracker. And so please, quick shout out to all those and to everybody in this tournament. It's been a fantastic one as we come down to close to the end. LewdDolphin, meanwhile, though, is going to just go straight for the dig game. Going to be disappointed when they see just the 20 rupees. And looks like they are still going to pick up the 20 rupees. Not a bad idea. It's just more money towards Zora, as well as any of the other upcoming possibilities of purchases necessary. ZebraUnicorn, meanwhile, finishing up Kakariko, which really was an underwhelming Kakariko. There was not much there to be excited about. So we'll have to see if south of Hyrule, down by the mini Moldorms and the dam, have anything special, but we won't be seeing that for a little while, as it looks like LewdDolphin, is going to be heading up to the Uncle and possibly do the front of Escape. We'll have to see where they decide to go from here. All right, so once again, ZebraUnicorn is following where LewdDolphin has been already, and LewdDolphin going where ZebraUnicorn has been. So no new information here, but so far our runners don't really have a whole lot of access anywhere. If they choose to do a sequence break, they could go to Death Mountain. They do have the Power Gloves to head up that way, but at this point, with so many other possible locations to check, would not be the smartest of routing, especially since it is breaking the logic. So don't imagine seeing our runners do that quite yet, not until there's much fewer options left. At this point, there is plenty to go. All right, so it does look like LewdDolphin is going to go to the front of Escape with just bombs. So this is going to be, they're going to be they only have 7, so they got to make sure they use them very wisely. They do not, unless, of course, they pick up a sword, which would be pretty fantastic, or even better, the hammer at this point. But they are going to have to be very well placed with their bombs, because they have to make sure they kill there's 3 enemies they have to kill, and they have to get them killed to be able to get everything. And ZebraUnicorn is going to take those Power Gloves and go to the back of Escape first. Very good decision. Easier to get all of those items, and there's 3 down here. We got the burrito, 20 rupees, and 50 more rupees. So this is a super slow seed to start. Not getting a whole lot of progression, not getting a whole lot of really much of anything. Power Gloves has been the only thing that's going to help our runners at this point. And ZebraUnicorn is going to head down to the south of Hyrule and see what that area has. Oh no, LewdDolphin's only got 1 more bomb, and he's gonna have to get this blue guard with it. Is able to get it, but does not have any source of damage to kill the ball and chain guard at this point. No, excuse me, they do have pot, so it won't be too terrible. They're going to be able to get everything done, and with no room to spare. They took that to the edge, so well done for LewdDolphin getting it done. It had to be a little pretty intense moment for them, though, I would imagine. Meanwhile, ZebraUnicorn has not found anything down in the dam yet, and ooh, the mirror has been drowned underneath Lake Hylia, or excuse me, not Lake Hylia, the Swamp Lake. That is a big pickup for ZebraUnicorn. And the Cane of Somaria for LewdDolphin. So both runners getting a very important item. We don't know if Cane of Somaria is required at this point, but nonetheless, it's always nice to get that because it can end up being a very trolly item. So both runners getting a nice item in their decisions. And I'm sure we'll see both runners picking up the other item that the their opponent picked up shortly as soon as ZebraUnicorn goes through this route, and it looks like LewdDolphin is heading to south of Hyrule, so they'll be getting their mirror very soon. And we get 20 rupees, 20 more rupees, the blue cane, so we got both canes now, and 300 rupee pickup and 20 more rupees, so 360 rupees. No, wait, 380 rupees if I'm, no, 360 rupees and the blue cane inside of Mini Moldorm Cave. So a very wealthy cave and a nice little safety item. So, and as some people in chat have pointed out, yes, the Cane of Samaria will be a very nice weapon to have at this point. Unfortunately, not a lot of magic for ZebraUnicorn, who does not have it, but LewdDolphin does. They will have to be very careful with it, but that will be a nice weapon to have going forward. And ZebraUnicorn is going to head to the Ice Rod Cave through the long trek without boots and or flute. All right, and I am joined by DM Stewart 1981. So glad of you to join. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. Sorry, I've been having some technical issues.
And maybe you might be there in just a moment as ZebraUnicorn gets a green potion from the Ice Rod Cave, and LewdDolphin using that Cane of Samara very effectively and picking up an 8 bomb drop for his efforts. Very, very nice pickup for LewdDolphin. So LewdDolphin picks up their hoard of treasures, and the blue cane now has both canes, and ZebraUnicorn is going to be heading into the front of Escape and be able to eventually pick up their Cane of Samaria, as long as they are able to kill everybody as well. LewdDolphin will be heading over, looks like towards the Ice Palace Cave, or Ice Rod Cave, excuse me, and pick up their green goo.
And ZebraUnicorn heading through the bottom part of Escape. We've got ZebraUnicorn with no sword having to kill these guards with bombs. And choosing to take an interesting method of just holding on to the bomb and tanking the damage.
Yeah, not a bad idea for that. Make sure you get the kill with it, because you don't throw it and miss.
And ZebraUnicorn picks up the cane down in Zelda's room. Zebra just nopes on out of there. Lewd, meanwhile, trying to use the block, the Cane of Samaria block, to find his way through the through the dark rooms.
I do apologize for some of the silence there.
ZebraUnicorn making his way over towards Eastern Palace. I did not see. Did he check Rufus Xavier Sarsarilla's hut?
He did. Unfortunately, I did not get to see what it was.
Well, we're going to see LewdDolphin get it. Green Pendant Swamp Palace. Interesting. Okay, we got a Pizza Hut, an empty bottle, and Das Boots.
That is a very nice Sarsarilla's hut then. Did not catch that earlier, so early boots, that is very nice to find.
Zebra heads in, gets a big 20 out of the cannonball room in Eastern.
Yeah, they've had quite a lot of 20 rupee drops so far, and pretty wealthy seed to start. They're both over 600, so plenty of money for Zora at this point.
But no sword makes this a little bit tricky.
Yeah, no sword. We're 16 minutes in and still no sword. Which, you know, we've had some seeds that go 50 minutes with no sword. But a lot of times they've had the hammer early, and this one we do not. The only real weapon we have is the Cane of Samaria, and as long as they keep their magic up, it will be a very nice weapon to have.
Well, that and bombs, but bombs
Yes.
are consumables.
Yeah, and neither runner has a large bomb count, only 4 for Zebra and 5 for LewdDolphin, so they're going to try not to use those, I imagine, want to save those for the bomb holes and stuff like that.
And big key, but just a compass. 3 items to be had in Eastern Palace.
And we've only seen, there's our second one, and it is the lamp, so right before the dark room, too. That is kind of a trolly location for it.
Yeah, a little bit, but I love lamp.
Oh, it is a fantastic item to have. Even whether you're comfortable in dark rooms or not, it makes it faster because you're not trying to go by memory of how the room layout is, and you're not trying to hope that you are getting enemies. It makes dark rooms, very doable and easy for everybody.
And with lamp and power glove, I think we may see Dennis coming up soon.
Yeah, and we also have the mirror, so that opens up Tower of Ahura. So it would be a very Titan's Mitts in Eastern Palace. Eastern Palace, really the whole Eastern area having a slew of good items.
Oh, wow. That is really nice.
Yeah, that is a fantastic one. It looks like we're going to see probably Bonk Rocks on the way towards Death Mountain, and then head to Death Mountain after that for ZebraUnicorn.
I think that's the obvious play. And just a Pizza Hut. Chat points out maybe we'll see, we are going to see King's Tomb.
Yeah, it looks like he realized just after heading over to Bonk Rocks that, I do have access to King's Tomb. Maybe they were planning on writing it this way. We'll have to see where they go after this, or maybe they realized it later. And it has just another piece of heart. So the boots did not have anything exciting blocking their 2 locations in the overworld.
Zebra's going to check the back part of Escape, too.
And they've actually already checked the 3 chests behind the bomb wall. They're going to go into the dark room, which is not a bad idea because I believe there is definitely an item there. We've seen the key and the map, so definitely an item there for ZebraUnicorn. So good decision. probably see them head to Death Mountain after this, but I was wrong previously, so I don't know.
Well, and LewdDolphin is setting up a Houlihan room.
That is really interesting. With how many rupees they already have, I'm kind of surprised that they would take the time to get those extra rupees. But I guess it's never a bad idea to have extra rupees. Still, kind of interesting.
Potions. He's going for potions.
Yeah, I mean, that could definitely be it. But right now, they have a blue potion and a green potion, and I'm not sure what their third bottle is. But I don't know.
It was an empty.
An empty one. Okay.
The empty bottle was in Rufus Xavier Sasparilla's back room.
Ah, okay, with the boots. I did miss those ones, so.
And ZebraUnicorn heads up to rescue Dennis.
Yeah, both runners heading up to Death Mountain, and that is you're probably right with the potions. That's probably what LewdDolphin is doing, just getting ready to have the extra money, and even it's also money for Pod and the Dig game. It's not a terrible idea, but I was kind of surprising to do it at this point in the race.
Well, he probably wants to make sure he doesn't get flippers first, because if he gets flippers, he can't set up Houlihan that way.
That's also a good point. So, yeah, not a bad decision. Has plenty of rupees now for anything they might need going forward, and just big 20 from Dennis. So not too much so far in Death Mountain, but there is plenty to check still. Oh.
And meanwhile, both of them find the violence inherent in the system, and we've got Ice Rod on top of Spectacle Rock.
That's so nice to find, because you don't have to worry about it trolling you. Whether Turtle Rock is a required dungeon or not, it can be anywhere. And Turtle Rock is Crystal 6, so very nice to find right there. And Green Pendant in Swamp.
Green Pendant Swamp, which we knew. Blue Pendant Pod. Red Pendant Mire.
Yeah, with that 6th crystal at Turtle Rock, and both runners do check that map and make sure they have a better plan of where they're going now, and they're going to pick up that Ice Rod for sure. Would have probably picked it up regardless, because that's another weapon that you can use at your disposal with the magic.
Yes, but Pod and Swamp as pendants is just rough.
Yeah, there's so many items in those dungeons that as pendants you're like, oh, really? Like, oh my goodness.
And ZebraUnicorn with an interesting strategy, using the cane to break the crystal switches.
Yeah, that's very well done, and only getting on one strike, because we get the Moon Pearl inside a Tower of Hera. So that is very nice.
So we've got Moon Pearl and Big Key, and will we have to have a will we have to go to the basement?
Yeah, we might be seeing that. It's a very real possibility. There's still one more item in Tower of Hera, and they do have a fire source, so it's not a terrible thing if they have to. It's just a lot of time. But if there's not in there, both runners will be doing it, and they'll be able to do it in one go. And also to point out, with that Moon Pearl, we now have Dark World access. So at this point, Aghanim will not be required. So both runners probably very happy to see that Moon Pearl.
We don't know that. We don't know that Aghanim will not be required.
True. We still need the hammer.
We don't have flippers.
Or flippers, correct.
One of the two of those would be required for Dark World, for full Dark World access. I can recall a seed earlier in this tournament that I did commentary on. It may have been the seed that you were restreaming, that had Aghanim required at an hour 20.
Yes, I remember that. That was pretty brutal. They did find the bug net in the big chest in Tower of Hera, and since they do not have any way to kill Moldorm, they are able to head out there. They will have to head back into Tower of Hera, unfortunately.
Oh, mandatory double dip Eastern, mandatory double dip Tower of Hera.
Brutal so far, but the nice thing about Tower of Hera is since they got both items, they can leave that for last and be able to finish it and portal right back into Ganon's Tower. Both runners will be able to do that, and since they don't need that crystal for anything until to get to Ganon's Tower, I would not be surprised if that's what we see from both runners.
Yes, that would be a beautiful thing.
It is the rare opportunity to be able to do that.
And the other beautiful thing with that, and both runners heading into Skull Woods.
And we get the shovel, so opens up another location with the shovel dig spot. So that'll be interesting to see if the shovel is holding out at this point.
The shovel. Do you want to have a fetch quest?
All the fetch quests. And we've already got the powder and haven't had a chance to check it out, so I think this could be a fetch quest seed.
What do you say? Shovel gets you the hammer, so you can check the Bat Cave, so you can get Cape to do Bumper Cave, to get mushroom to turn in for a progression item.
That would be pretty amazing and trolly. Oh, especially seeing the mushroom on Bumper Cave if they haven't found the cape yet. It's like, okay. Oh, I hate that. I hate seeing a fetch quest item that you can't access without going out of your way. That's one of the worst things.
I can recall a seed from the tournament that had the shovel on Lumberjack Ledge.
That's just so rude.
You know, all these weird, crazy seeds, and I have not yet commentated a pedestal seed.
I've commentated a few blind pulls, but ended up being a piece of heart or couch catch, something, nothing required. So I would love to see a pedestal seed. It would just be fun to have. Always love getting the pedestal hype check. And ZebraUnicorn is going to head straight to Village of Outcasts after School Woods, and LewdDolphin is going to go get some information on this Bumper Cave and probably. Oh my goodness, the hammer!
Okay, that could be the fetch quest hell is still possible.
Yes, it is. You had the item kind of close onto the Bumper Cave. You had the hammer leading to the cave to get to Bumper Cave item. Oh man, hammer on Bumper Cave. That is so we know we will be finding the cape in the seed.
And a big 20 in Sea Hut. LewdDolphin gonna check Graveyard Ledge, which is an interesting one. Bumper Cave had the hammer.
And now, do you think LewdDolphin holds off going into Thieves Town until they get the cape so they can get the hammer and go into Thieves Town all at once? Or do you think they go in there before that? Because what if the cape is inside of Thieves Town?
I think I would be inclined to hold off till I had the hammer to go into Thieves Town.
I would be as well. As we get the fire rod out of Thieves Town, my goodness, a super slow start. We are starting to get all the items now.
Now, I don't know if you mentioned this earlier while I was having technical difficulties, but the winner of this race goes into the round of 8 to race against Aaron Doby.
They actually go against Dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Aaron Doby is also awaiting the other Game of 3 combatants, which race later tonight at midnight, I believe.
Ah, I had that backwards. Sorry.
No worries. That's why we work together on this.
Chess game just had 10 arrows.
Yeah, nothing too exciting in the village of Outcasts itself, but we did get the fire rod out of Thieves Town, which is very nice. And LewdDolphin did open Thieves Town, so we'll have to see if they decide to go in there now. And it looks like they're going to go in there knowing that the hammer is not going to be found, and that knowing where it's at. So this will be interesting to see if there's an item inside that big chest.
Well, LewdDolphin knows where the hammer is. Zebra
Yes.
does not.
Correct, sorry.
Zebra, very close, almost had that god pixel in the hellway.
Oh, that feels so good when you get that. It is, oh man, otherwise that hallway is just so, well, there's a reason why it's called, people have plenty of names for it. I call it the hallway of hell. And I believe we have now seen the map and the compass, so that means there is an item in that big chest. If I'm not mistaken, we have seen all the dungeon items. So that is going to be very interesting to see what the big chest holds out, if anything important.
And Zebra dodging those radioactive cockroaches.
They do so much damage. At least they do have blue mail, so it's not terrible, but man, they do a ton of damage.
Oh, even with blue mail, they still do a ton of damage.
Yeah, for sure.
And to answer a question in chat, 30 minutes in, and yes, we still don't really have a real weapon yet.
We don't even have an infinite weapon either. No weapon that is infinite ammo. Everything has a resource or needs to be used and has limits to it. So that is also another thing to keep an eye on.
Looks like we're probably going to see cane strats from our runners on blind.
Yeah, we can get cane strats from either cane, and ZebraUnicorn's going to use the Cane of Samaria here at the start. Not a bad idea. You can get hits with both the block as well as the flashes that come off it. I don't know if that's what they're called, but that's what I call them.
Okay, we're going to see Cane of Samaria strats from.
Oh no, LewdDolphin dying just after getting the map up in the room above blinds where you fight blind. Luckily he did get there, so not terrible. Maybe that was intentional, not sure, but they decided, you know what, I don't have the hammer, I've got both dungeon items, I'm out.
Nice job with cane strats. LewdDolphin heading down to do digging game. Wait, I didn't see what blind dropped.
Yeah, I couldn't see what it was either, actually. I tried to watch the stream to see it as well. I was not able to see what it was. So there is still an item inside of Thieves Town in the big chest, though.
Oh god, Blind dropped a sword.
Oh, it was a sword. ZebraUnicorn has the sword, so that is our first sword for ZebraUnicorn. That is with our first infinite source weapon. So that is very nice to have. So about 34 minutes into the race, we finally got our first sword.
And LewdDolphin does head in to check Batcave. Na 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 na. Pizza Heart. Zebra picks up the big key.
And so while ZebraUnicorn is finishing off School Woods, and they'll be able to get that crystal there after getting the fire rod inside of Thieves Town, LewdDolphin is doing some more overworld locations, checking on the dwarves and just getting 100 rupees for the efforts of rescuing him and turning him from a frog back into a dwarf. They're going to head back into Dark World and see if they head up to School Woods as well. Does not look like that's what they're going to do, though.
ZebraUnicorn going after.
Oh no,
fighters.
ZebraUnicorn taking a death on Mothula. That is a very tough fight with just Master Sword and not full magic for the Fire Rod. And they're gonna go back in there and try to get the kill again. And that's always a rough fight with low hearts. It's not easy. And to answer Vulajin, I believe I'm saying that, is Mothula is not green pendant. It is a regular crystal, but we don't know if there's an item on Mothula yet. I believe we've only seen one item inside of School Woods.
And 50 rupees from the digging spot.
LewdDolphin is taking the purple chest back to Gary, going to give him his launch back. We'll be able to see what they hold and probably be able to get to check what items may be in Hype Cave, if any, at this point. And then we'll have to see. It'll be interesting to see where our runners go from there. We have plenty of options at this point. We're still missing some very key progression items, though. ZebraUnicorn almost taking another death, but using that blue potion, hopefully they're able to get the kill this time so they don't have to come back in here later. And there we go. Gets the kill. Well done for ZebraUnicorn. Gets another crystal and a full heart. So that is our second item and the crystal out of School Woods for ZebraUnicorn.
And LewdDolphin heading over.
And
towards
LewdDolphin
the
finding their own sword on the purple chest. So both runners now have a sword, and we know that LewdDolphin for sure will be getting Master Sword. Eventually they will kill Blind. That is a crystal pendant. So we'll have to see if ZebraUnicorn goes after the purple chest and gets that. And the hook shot in Hype Cave. Hype Cave finally having some worth to it. Version 27 has not been kind to Hype Cave. But there we go. We have our hook shot, which now opens up access to the east side of Death Mountain, which LewdDolphin is heading straight for it. Cannot blame them. This is a great decision, and this also does open up Dark Death Mountain as well, since we have the Titan's Mitts.
Love seeing hook shot. Hookshot not always required, but almost always required. Hammer, on the other hand, is always required. Oh, hookshot is always required. Sorry. Was forgetting about Troll Dorm 2. And ZebraUnicorn finding his piece of heart and just noping out. LewdDolphin heading into Paradox Cave. Paradox Cave having for him 50 rupees, 3 bombs, 5 bomb upgrade, a complete heart container, and a big 20. ZebraUnicorn going to rescue the blacksmith and presumably head over and get his Master Sword from Gary's lunchbox.
And that will be a very nice pickup for them, and so that'll give us access. That'll, at that point, as far as swords go, will give us the ability to kill Ganon, so we will not be looking for a Master Sword for either runner. So that'll be nice to have that underway, and we still might yet find a Tempered Sword.
However, the logic does require... The logic requires Tempered Sword. A full heart container, and there's our flippers. Aghanim is now no longer required.
Very nice find. That is got to be a comforting find, excuse me, for LewdDolphin to know that they don't have to worry about Aghanim anymore. So be able to bypass that. But the problem with that is now it's making Swamp Palace look like it might be more of a possibility, and it is pendant, so that's not fun.
And Quake is the medallion to get into Turtle Rock.
And we have not seen a medallion yet, so that'll be interesting to see how long it takes to get that item. And LewdDolphin is going to head into the Hookshot Cave as we find a 5-arrow upgrade. The Fire Shield, a 5-bomb upgrade, and we see 300 more rupees, so not too much in Hookshot Cave.
With the flippers, I would agree with Vooligen in chat that a Zora trip is probably a good play right now.
That is a very good point, and they have, especially LewdDolphin has plenty of rupees. They've picked up a few 300 rupee drops, and then their Hoolahans early on, they have 1,500 rupees, so that would be a phenomenal check. I definitely agree with that.
Although LewdDolphin is checking Spiral Cave first. Which a single green rupee.
At least they had boots, so it wasn't too terrible. ZebraUnicorn did pick up their Master Sword, so they will be heading over to Hype Cave, most likely. It looks like that is the direction they are headed.
So, if you have been enjoying this race so far, please consider giving these two runners a follow.
They have definitely put on quite the show so far in this tournament, and one of them will be able to continue on to give you more amazing Zelda randomizer running as they go into one will go into the top 8, but I'm sure you'll be able to enjoy anything else they do as they they stream their own stuff throughout the week. Give them a follow, have put on quite the show for you so far.
Was that the bow on the Lake Hylia Island?
It looked like it. My goodness, so that is 2 items for LewdDolphin, knowledge-wise. That is a huge advantage over ZebraUnicorn. ZebraUnicorn still, if I'm not mistaken, has not checked Bumper Cave and does not know that is where the hammer is. That is big information.
looks like we are going to see... Oh, that's right. Zebra didn't go... Wait, Zebra went into Tower of Hera?
Was not able to kill Moldorm because of the no weapon to do so. Looks like they're just going to go get their crystal. They got both items. I'm kind of surprised they're not saving this for their last crystal. Just again because you're able to pull right out.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with this play. In fact, I know I don't agree with this play.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting decision on their part. We'll have to see. Maybe ask them about it afterwards. Maybe they forgot they'd already gotten both items. It's tough to say, but it seems like the best decision would be to save it for last, since you no longer need an item and you don't need that crystal for anything except for to get into Ganon's tower.
Well, I can see maybe doing it as a time to think. Give you a chance to accomplish something while you're still thinking, and the life lesson from Zora.
That is a good point. That it is, you'll be able to think about where to go possibly next. Yeah, Zora, the whole area, not holding out anything, still looking for that cape for access to the hammer, and we can get the bow, but it would be quite the long trek to be able to go because we don't have easy access to the Dark World nearby without having the hammer.
Yeah, that would be a long trip for for one item. Now, I won't say not a lot of game because it's a required item and it's a very good item.
Yeah, it's definitely would be nice to have, but yeah, it would, unless you're able to route other things into it at the same time, like heading to Pod possibly with having the hammer and bow in tow. Even if it is a pendant, there is still 6 or 5 items inside of Palace of Darkness. So I would imagine that's something you'd want to try to at least wait until the last moment. And they've already gotten all the items outside of Eastern Palace, so it's not trying to rush to get any extra items that they may have left behind.
And Zebra going to finish up Paradox Cave and get not really anything of use.
Yeah, there wasn't that the hookshot didn't really yield a whole lot of items through being able to get into Death Mountain and Dark World, just some rupees and some money and more hearts, but really underwhelming. Really, the overworld has been relatively underwhelming, except for where the hammer and bow are, but we can't get to those yet. Well, we can get to the bow now, because we did get the flippers in Death Mountain.
But where, oh where, is the cape?
Let's think about this for a moment. With where our runners have been, where can they go next? We can see a pod play from LewdDolphin. As of course, we can see Pyramid and also Catfish from LewdDolphin as well.
Well, we can see most of Pod.
Yes, correct. Most of.
Chat points out Ice Palace. They cannot go to Swamp yet without the without Cape. Get the hammer.
Yeah, you'd be able to get one chest in there, and boy, would it be trolly if that was the cape.
Oh god, that would be as trolly as having the hammer there. Well, it would be having the hammer there, effectively.
It would essentially be having the hammer there. That would be terrible. I am sorry for thinking that if that is exactly what ends up happening. My apologies to everybody. But we will see where LewdDolphin heads off to next. They have a few options. and I'm not entirely sure what they might be thinking.
Lewd is going to Thieves Town.
That is correct. I forgot that they died there and were not able to finish it, so they'll be able to get their Master Sword, assuming they are able to finish it without dying. It's still going to have an item left inside the big chest, but LewdDolphin knows it's not going to be the bow, and knows it's not going to be hammer or cape, because that would be impossible to have the cape there.
Now, could... Okay, well, I guess let's discuss what do these runners need for go mode?
Well, of course, we need the hammer and the bow, which LewdDolphin knows where they're at. We'll need the Quake Medallion. We don't know what Medallion Misery Mire is, which is not going to be required for go mode, but there could possibly be an item there, so we won't count that. But, so that's... the book or flute to be able to get to desert.
ZebraUnicorn finds the bow on the Hylia Island.
Yeah, that is going to be their first information for either the bow or hammer, so they're going to be happy to be able to know that where the bow is, and they know that they can get to it, but they still have not seen Bump Cave, so they don't know where that hammer is yet, even though they can't get it, and that's probably why ZebraUnicorn has not headed that way, because they don't have cape. Probably going to try to wait until they have cape to be able to head up that way to check it and be able to do it in one go.
Both strategies have merit. I tend to lean towards finding the information rather than just waiting until I have everything to do it.
Yeah, I am with you on that, especially where they'd done School Woods. It's not too terribly far out of the way to check it, and especially where they had Mirror, they could check Graveyard Ledge, which LewdDolphin did. So in this instance, I feel like it would have been better to get that information even before knowing that it was Hammer. Of course, with it being Hammer, that's fantastic information. But ZebraUnicorn is going to be heading that way shortly, and we'll get their information, but still no cape.
That's true, still no cape. LewdDolphin picking up his second sword.
Yeah, so both runners now have Master Sword, and both runners now know where the bow and also the hammer are.
And they're pretty much at the same point progression-wise, too.
Yeah, ZebraUnicorn's just got the Tower of Hera kill an advantage, but again, I feel like that was time not wisely spent in the moment. It's something that you're gonna have to go, there's no items, you can do it right before Ganon's Tower, but maybe they prefer getting Turtle Rock and then going straight to Ganon's. That every runner has their preferences.
That's true.
All right, LewdDolphin will be picking up their bow, so that is a very good pickup. Probably head to Palace of Darkness. I think it's the best play. There's so many possible items there, and it's just, it makes the most sense to me. Meanwhile, ZebraUnicorn will be going to Catfish, which I believe is our first check.
I'd like to say I think I would route... Oh no, LewdDolphin is heading for Pod. I'd like to say I think I would route up to check Pyramid and Catfish first. But without the hammer. Yeah, without the hammer. Sorry, if you go to get the bow, you have to route up past Pod first.
Yeah, and ZebraUnicorn, I liked their decision. They went this way. They're going to be able to check Catfish and Zora in one decision. Unfortunately, Catfish did not have anything, so this entire section of the map, both Light and Dark World, had absolutely nothing for our runners. But ZebraUnicorn was able to route it better because of the way they did it. They went to Catfish and then Zora, so they did that in one check, whereas if LewdDolphin ever does make it to Catfish, it'll be something that's pretty out of their way to check at this point.
And probably not and probably unlikely to check it unless he runs out of other places to check. To point out, chat points out there are no items left in Eastern Palace. Yes, but Eastern Palace is also a red crystal. It would be bad routing not to mirror over and finish Eastern Palace after you do Pod. So that would just be bad routing. So yes, all these runners still need is Quake. All the runners still need really is Quake and the cape, which gives them the hammer to be in go mode.
We also need either the book or flute for Desert Palace.
Ah, good point. Good point.
But yeah, we're getting pretty close to that go mode, and we are just about approaching 1 hour. So, we could be waiting another 20-30 minutes for that, or it could happen very quickly. So we'll have to wait and see what the rest of the seat holds out for our runners.
And ZebraUnicorn is now heading over to get the bow.
And there's our Quake inside of the dark rooms for LewdDolphin with the rupees. So that is one of our go mode items checked off the list.
Yes, we could get Cape, the first item chest of Swamp.
And it's starting to look more likely as our runners are running out of options at this point.
And that would be horrifyingly trolly.
It would be oh so trolly, and because we also need Hammer to be able to get into Turtle Rock, so Turtle Rock is completely closed off at this point until we get that Hammer. So really, Cape is holding this seed back quite significantly, which is kind of incredible. Like, how often do you have Cape being the trolley item?
Oh man, yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I don't think I've ever seen our runners needing Cape and it being trolley. You usually get Cape so early on, and it's just like one of those things like, okay, whatever, I have the Cape.
Yeah, I mean, Pyramid Fairy can't have anything useful.
Yeah, nope, it cannot, because Turtle Rock is blocked behind that Hammer, which is, of course, blocking. Well, No, if we get the hammer, it could potentially have our book or flute.
Okay.
Yes, yes. And to answer chat, somebody asked what the cape is for. It's to get to Bumper Cave, which is blocking our hammer. So we need the cape. One of the few times in Zelda Randomizer that you actually need the cape.
Now, to be fair, cape is a very useful item.
Yeah, definitely. It is very useful in so many ways, depending on what the rest of your equipment is. And you can use it for Ganon fights to help, especially if they only have Master Sword. But rarely is it required, and I love that. I am loving that it's required right now.
Now, both of these runners are fully competent and able to do Silverless Ganon, but I don't think either one of them really wants to do Master Sword Silverless.
Oh man, that just does not sound pleasant at all. Master Sword, regardless, is an unpleasant experience, but Silverless as well. Yeah, I am sure both of our runners, even if they get Go mode, might be trying to find another sword upgrade or silver arrows on their way through dungeons and Ganon's Tower.
Oh man, so what's your play from here? Looks like LewdDolphin is heading up to check Catfish from here. No, he's heading over to check Pyramid.
I would imagine they check Catfish after checking Pyramid. That would be a good play. It's the absolute best time for him to route it. Pyramid not holding out, just having 20 rupees for us. So at this point, I think Cape is inside a swamp on that first chest. I'm calling it right now, and that is hilariously brutal.
Yes, but that would be typical of this seed so far.
Yes, it would.
This whole seed has been brutal.
Yeah, you know, we had a very, very, very slow start with items and kind of got a big slew of them, but then it was like, hey, look, you have these 2 items you can't get yet. Tease. I'm going to tease you a lot. And chat pointed out, again, something we keep forgetting. Ice Palace is still a play, and it's a crystal, so I would imagine our runners go in there before going Independent Swamp. I keep forgetting about Ice Palace, probably because I tried to avoid that place at all costs. I dislike Ice Palace. I'm terrible at bomb jumps, and it's just long, and I feel like I'm going nowhere the whole time.
Oh, I'm with you about avoiding Ice Palace. Ice Palace can't be completely beaten without the hammer. Oh man, double dipping. Vooligan in chat talks about double dipping Ice Palace. Worst seed I've ever played had mandatory double dip Ice Palace to get the mirror in order to go into Swamp to get the medallion to open up Turtle Rock, to get the hook shot to finish Swamp, to get the big key to pick up the a progression item out of the big chest. So mandatory double dip ice, mandatory double dip Turtle Rock because no lamp, mandatory triple dip Swamp. And LewdDolphin does make the Ice Palace play. I think it's the right play.
Yeah,
Just
I
for
agree.
item density.
Yeah,
And there's a
and it's a
cape.
crystal.
A cape. Still not go mode because still need flute or book to get into desert.
Yes, indeed. But getting that cape takes off right away. Not a bad decision. Early on in the dungeon too, so not a bad decision. And then the rest of the dungeon or the items were hammer locked, if I'm not mistaken. On the right side, you can't even get to them without hammer.
Yes, there is a lot of ice palaces locked behind the hammer.
And you can't even kill cold stairs, so that is, yeah, getting that cape, gonna go get that hammer, probably go straight back into Ice Palace, since again, it is a crystal.
Meanwhile, what is Zebra doing?
I'm not sure, and I don't think they knew what they were doing in the moment either. Maybe just realized, wait, I can't do anything else up here. So now, where do they go?
I think he might make the play on... I think Zebra might be making the play on Ice Palace, which, as we know, is the winning play.
Yeah, they're going the wrong direction for that. I thought so too, but are they checking Agina's cave?
That's what it looks like.
All right, we'll see. If this is book or flute, that'll be really good for ZebraUnicorn, because at this point, I would say LewdDolphin has a slight advantage. Obviously, it's really hard to say who's in the lead until one runner is in go mode over the other. But this would be something that would help ZebraUnicorn make up some of that advantage at this point.
Yes, if the book or the flute is here, that's going to be big. Meanwhile, LewdDolphin is checking Peg Cave. It's just a Pizza Hut.
And Agina's had nothing either, so that was not the right decision for ZebraUnicorn, but it looks like they might now be making that play on the Ice Palace, which we know is the right play.
I don't know why Lewd didn't go back and finish off Ice Palace. But it looks like Lewd might be making the play on Turtle Rock.
That looks like what they're doing. Not a bad play. You just got the hammer. You have everything else you need to take care of Turtle Rock. They are likely saving Tower a hair for last, so saving Turtle Rock for the last dungeon is not that same lucrative decision as it usually is when you can just go straight over. But you'd feel like you'd want to try to get everything else taken care of first. But again, I can't blame them. They're probably wanting to go mode Ice Palace as best as possible.
Yes, but you save so much time doing Turtle Rock to Hera Ganon's tower.
So much time. I feel like that would be a better decision overall. But we'll have to see. Maybe they're just going to take care of those right now. And this also does give them the Pyramid Fairy. So I guess it's not necessarily terrible. ZebraUnicorn gets their cape and as well gets out of Ice Palace and will go get their hammer.
Yep, ZebraUnicorn just nopes right out of there to head back over to get his hammer from Bumper Cave.
Yeah, and as some people in chat have pointed out, Turtle Rock Go mode is not that much different than doing everything in the dungeon. It's maybe save a couple of chests and Mimic Cave if you're not, or if you are in Go mode. But overall, Turtle Rocket in Go mode is not much different. So I guess this play isn't as terrible as my original thinking was. And there's the flute. Oh my goodness.
That puts LewdDolphin in Go mode.
That is official Go mode for LewdDolphin. So everything we were saying was completely incorrect. He made the right play. We were wrong. And I guess there's a reason why LewdDolphin is at this point in the tournament. So, dang, that is a Go mode for Dolphin.
Yep, there's a reason that he's deep in the tournament in the round of 16, and I'm not even in the tournament.
Indeed, and they making the right play there. Now, will ZebraUnicorn make the same decision? If they do, they will only be just a few minutes behind, and this will definitely be anybody's race. But if they decide to head back into Ice Palace, that will put them behind because they will not be able to go mode it like LewdDolphin will.
Well, either one is a reasonable choice. Brett is enough to do Turtle Rock. I don't think I would have done it. LewdDolphin, beautiful with the beautiful getting through the Chain Chomp room as he works his way through The Legend of Zelda Super Mario Brothers. LewdDolphin now able to go mode the rest of Turtle. ZebraUnicorn not very far behind.
No, they did make the right decision going to Turtle Rock, and they will not be too terribly far behind. And they do have the advantage of having already taken care of that Tower of Hera, so that is some time saved. But the LewdDolphin will be able to do that and go straight to Ganon's Tower, which will be slightly quicker than overall than what ZebraUnicorn had to do.
And LewdDolphin picks up the Bloomerang in the vanilla big key chest. However, he is still checking those chests because he still wants another sword or silvers.
Yeah, I cannot blame him for that at all. Like we said earlier, nobody really wants to do Master Sword, Silverless Ganon. While they may be able to do it and can if necessary, I'm sure that's the furthest thing from what they want to do on that fight right now.
ZebraUnicorn finds his flute. ZebraUnicorn is now in Go mode.
So both runners were in Go mode sub 1 hour 15 minutes, and that's, you know, overall, like with how slow the seed started, I ended up going pretty quickly.
Dolphin is even checking Mimic Cave. I know what he's checking for. He's checking for a sword or he's checking for silvers, and I do not blame him one bit. I think the time saved from checking chests that aren't terribly out of the way is worth it.
I would definitely agree with that. And like, I mean, Mimic Cave isn't too terribly long to check, and if it had silvers or tempered sword, that would just, like you said, the time saved from that would be a significant amount, and it would totally make up for checking that location.
And LewdDolphin, following my usual strategy in the Dark Room and Turtle Rock of using shot to keep the fire bars from damaging.
Yeah, it's a nice little strategy to avoid taking that extra damage and not having to worry about health as much. And because we do have Cane of Burna, as we did have Cape as well, able to get the laser bridge without too much worry, not having to do laser skips or anything like that, and gets the item and will take off straight for Trinix, or excuse me, gets all the chests.
There is a Bombos in there, which could turn out to be relevant. Oh, wait, no. That will not turn out to be relevant because you don't need to go into Mire at all, because you're in go mode now.
That is correct. One thing it would be nice on is, since we don't have half magic, it will help with Cold Stare to be able to break the ice without worries of having either full magic or hitting every fire rod shot. So it may not necessarily be necessarily relevant, but it will be a nice addition to the Ice Palace dungeon.
That's a very nice. It's a very nice Trinex from Dolphin.
Yeah, very nice. A Trinex with Master Sword and not half magic is a pretty tough fight, and LewdDolphin took care of that like it was a piece of cake. Very well done.
This should be a close race.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, ZebraUnicorn's not too far behind, and not checking Mimic Cave is just going to help them save extra time. They are treating this a little bit more go mode than LewdDolphin is. LewdDolphin, both runners, I'm sure, still wanting to find that extra sword or silvers, but ZebraUnicorn's going a little bit further, not checking things that are more out of the way than just inside the dungeon. They will still do the laser bridge, it looks like.
This may come down to what you get, where the big key is in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, and if we don't find silvers or a tempered sword, execution on Master Sword Silverless will be well, I mean, that's going to be a major deciding factor, because there's so many things that can go wrong. It's a long fight, and the pressure can really start getting to you if you haven't seen the dot done and you're there. And there's our silvers inside the Mire shed. Great decision for LewdDolphin to check that out. We no longer have to worry about a Master Sword Silverless on LewdDolphin's side. So that is a huge sigh of relief for them. Now, do they keep looking for a sword upgrade? We will have to see if they do decide to continue looking for that sword upgrade, but getting the silvers is a big upgrade for that Ganon fight. No longer have to worry about Master Sword Silverless but still Master Sword at this point. Of course, there can be swords on inside of Ganon's tower, which I frequently have seen multiple swords in there, so would not be surprised if we do not find a sword until Ganon, I mean, to be honest. And as we pointed, this could come down to execution, and now does ZebraUnicorn check the Mire Shed for those silvers? If they don't, LewdDolphin has an extreme advantage with those silvers. And LewdDolphin, after getting those silvers, is not checking any extra locations inside of Desert Palace. They are definitely more go mode than they were before. Oh no, ZebraUnicorn taking a death that's tough, but they did get the safety door, so not too much of a time loss. But that is not something you want to do. Never want to take a death, but dying to Trinix is always tough. So it can be a very long fight, especially Master Sword and no half magic. So now they will have to be a little bit more careful and see if they can get it on this attempt. Every second is a more advantage for LewdDolphin. And in Tensor Chat, I'm not sure how many potions Zebra has left. I think, I know he's used a blue. I know he used a fairy that he had. I think he had a green. I do not remember seeing if he used that or not. So that could be something that would be important going down. But having a much better go around so far on Trinix, and see if they can continue doing that. And moving forward and onto the Ice Head as LewdDolphin heads into Ice Palace. Oh, with the last Fire Rod shot, is able to get the last hit on the Ice Neck and advances it to the final phase of Trinix fight. Little bit safer now, don't have to worry about your magic anymore, but still have to get the hits off. And with Master Sword, that is a tough fight, but doing a pretty good job, a masterful job, some might say. Well done for ZebraUnicorn on the second fight of Trinix, and they will now be likely head towards the Mire area with that flute. And if they check Mire Shed, they're not going to be too far behind, but every second counts at this point. They need to start making up some time on LewdDolphin. And they are going to go straight to Kakariko and activate their flute for ZebraUnicorn. Meanwhile, LewdDolphin is just going to blaze right through Ice Palace, get a bomb jump right here, and be able to go through Ice Palace much quicker. Go mode Ice Palace is a very, very quick dungeon if you have everything necessary, and they definitely do. So very quick dungeon. We'll see them entering Cold Star fight not too long from now, and ZebraUnicorn activates the flute. And LewdDolphin still checking a few chests, trying to get those silvers. It looks like ZebraUnicorn is definitely going to restock up on potions now. Not a bad idea. They went through a lot of them, I believe actually all of them, as they get 3 blue potions, and LewdDolphin finds our 4th bottle, and it is empty inside Ice Palace. So still no Tempered Sword. There is the chance, though, of course, of it being inside of Ganon's tower. LewdDolphin just checking this chest just on the way, and again, not a bad idea. Getting that Tempered Sword would be a massive upgrade in the fight. And ZebraUnicorn is not... Oh no, they are not going into the Mire Shed. That that is bad. This definitely puts the race clearly in favor of LewdDolphin at this point. Those silvers will be a massive difference maker on that Ganon fight for that final phase. So yeah, unless ZebraUnicorn decides to check the shed after cleaning up Desert Palace, which I don't see as being a likely outcome. This is bad news for ZebraUnicorn and just gives LewdDolphin that much more of an advantage. And they get their 6th crystal now onto Death Mountain up towards Tower Hera for their 7th and final crystal. So they will be shortly heading towards their final crystal as LewdDolphin is heading towards Landmalus in Desert Palace. Well done for LewdDolphin. Did want to point out, well done for LewdDolphin on that Cold Star fight. Did a very good job, and of course picks up more potions. You have plenty of money, and you got that extra bottle. Why not before heading up to the final destination? That since they will be very close, well, be able to go straight into Ganon's Tower after finishing up Tower of Hera. So they will be fully stocked with safeties, and they do have red mail, so that is also a nice thing. That although ZebraUnicorn does not have that, since they did not check, I believe, the shed, which is where the red mail was, as well with the silvers. If I'm not mistaken, I can actually having a hard time remembering where the red was. I do apologize for DMS Stewart, and once again having some technical issues. Should be back shortly as LewdDolphin makes their way through Death Mountain towards Tower of Hera. We'll be able to use the mirror and go straight into Tower Hera, and then right after Tower Hera, we'll be able to mirror right back into Ganon's Tower. This is rare that you get to see this opportunity to be able to go Tower of Hera straight to Ganon, but it is glorious when you're able to do it. ZebraUnicorn heads into Ice Palace. They will also, of course, are in Gomos, will be able to go through this much quicker. Both runners making the right decisions in the end, and LewdDolphin slightly having a few more decisions earlier that put him ahead. And then the death on Trinix is another thing that kind of pushed ZebraUnicorn behind, which is very unfortunate. And then, of course, not getting the silvers in the shed will be something major going down later into the Ganon fight.
That's true. The difference that silvers make versus non-silvers is pretty big. We've got Zebra setting up the bomb jumping here in Ice Palace, and LewdDolphin finishing off. LewdDolphin finishes off Trolldorm. That is his 7th crystal. So, chat, you know what that means. Take your guesses as to where the big key is going to be. There are 22 possible locations.
Yeah, and because of the location, you do not have a lot of time to get those guesses in. I personally am going with 11, or the top left room in the randomizer. Excuse me, top left chest in randomizer room. Where do you think it's going to be, DMS, Stuart? DM Stewart.
With the way this seed has been, tile room.
The evil tile room.
However, that's usually number... What is it? 18 for me.
Okay, so you do that before going all the rest of the way right. Oh, as LewdDolphin gets the Tempered Sword. So ZebraUnicorn will also get that, but without the silvers. And that just definitely right there makes Ganon a very easy fight now.
Oh, yes. Not quite as easy as if he gets butter, which he could still pick up butter.
Yes, indeed. And there was just 20 rupees on Bob's chest, so Bob will live today. And that is chest 3 so far. And we're heading to chest 4, 5, 6, and 7.
2 keys, 3 keys, and a Pizza Hut.
That would have been pretty amazing if the big key had been in there, just a room full of keys. Or another key. Although I think we've already gotten all of our keys if I'm out of chest. That was a lot. I can never remember exactly how many there are in chest before heading up to the second level, or to the upper levels.
And 5 rupees in the fire bar room.
That was chest number 8. So heading on to the next chest, which will be after the fire room with all the, you got a hook shot across, and there will be our 9th chest.
And ZebraUnicorn finishes off his last. And wait, LewdDolphin's past where the key is upstairs.
Yeah, it was on chest number 9, I think, is where we were at. It was on the room with the all the fires.
Oh.
The fire bars were going across the floor, and you got a hook shot across, and that was chest number 9, if I was counting correctly.
Fire snake room.
That's the word.
LewdDolphin gonna take the gonna take the fairy room.
Not a bad idea to get some safeties there and make sure you're all topped off before heading up with Black of Half Magic. We'll be able to go through. They do have silvers, so this Gauntlet and Tempered Sword, so Gauntlet shouldn't be too bad for them. See how things go for LewdDolphin as ZebraUnicorn is opening up Ganon's Tower.
Well, Gauntlet is still bad. Gauntlet is always bad.
There's a reason why it's called the Gauntlet, and there's some runners that just go through it and it looks like it's another day for them. And for myself, I don't know how they do it. It is a thing of beauty to watch when people just fly through this place.
And That's a valid point. That is so satisfying to get that Wizrobe room with one block.
Yeah, getting both, if you can get both of them, and LewdDolphin does, it is, that's one of my favorite things with the Candace Samari is getting those Wizrobe rooms. It is just, like you said, there's something about it. It just makes you feel so good.
I would say this is LewdDolphin's race to lose.
Yeah, he has not only advantage in time, but an advantage in silvers, which, if he'd been behind by 2 minutes, could be something that he could make up just on that final phase of Ganon. It saves a lot of time, depending on how well the other runner would have been at silverless. And as ZebraUnicorn gets their big key and is about to head up to the upper levels of Ganon's Tower, LewdDolphin is heading to Moldorm 2.
Nicely done, Moldorm 2 from LewdDolphin.
Took very quick work with that tempered sword for LewdDolphin there. And we're also seeing another place where the lack of silvers just adds a little bit of extra time on these mimics. They take 2 regular arrows, whereas with silvers, it's 1. LewdDolphin was able to go through here a little bit cleaner than ZebraUnicorn is, simply because 1 arrow, hitting them with 1 arrow is a lot easier than trying to get 2 on them, especially without Mirror Shield. You got to be a little bit more careful. So just all those little things that the advantage is going for LewdDolphin is just putting ZebraUnicorn a little bit further behind each time.
As well as having no trouble with the true final boss.
Yes.
LewdDolphin through Aghanim 2. Now it's time, let's kick this pig.
Yeah, it is time to head towards the pig. And with Tempered Sword and Silvers should be a very simple fight for LewdDolphin. And at this point, ZebraUnicorn needs LewdDolphin to have a major mental collapse and just struggle mightily to make up any chance of getting it back into this race and getting the win. So LewdDolphin heading towards Ganon.
And to answer in chat, as Ganon makes his Weetabix commercial, to answer chat, no, the true final boss is that room, is the room, the last room with enemies before Aghanim 2.
With the mini Helmosaurs and the ice and the bumper caves. And of course the spikes and conveyor belts. It's kind of just all the annoying things combined into one.
Yes.
Just no dead rocks. If there was dead rocks in that room, I would hate. Oh my gosh, that would have been evil.
And LewdDolphin with all the blue potions for the Ganon fight.
And with that Tempered Sword making very quick work of the first 2 phases, and is pushed Ganon to the 3rd phase and has already got 3 hits. Meanwhile, ZebraUnicorn was about ready to dash up and gets knocked off by one of the enemies right there. It's just, in the end, will be insult to injury in this race, as LewdDolphin is on the final phase.
Nice double there from LewdDolphin. That will do it.
Gets the final hit on Ganon. And just got to make it across the thoroughfare, and then the win be his, and LewdDolphin advances to the round of 8 in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 36 seconds. GG's to LewdDolphin, and congratulations on advancing.
Yes, congratulations to LewdDolphin. Meanwhile, ZebraUnicorn heading through the mini Helmosaur room. The 2 mini Helmosaur room picks up the validation arrow, the single arrow.
Yes, he does.
GG to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a
GG's
seed. Oh my goodness gracious. Always go to Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock always has the answers.
Yet again, it held out.
That nice palace.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, I wanted that cape. I really wanted that cape, obviously. And I was putting off the terrible locations for a long time. And then I was down to Agina's cave and the first chest in Swamp and Ice Palace and I think something else. And I thought, just go to Ice Palace. It's going to be in there. It was in the first chest. I'm like, oh, whew. But that didn't put me in go mode, but that put me a lot closer.
It put you on the path towards go mode. That was we talked about that. That's how often do you actually need cape in a seed? It's kind of a fun experience to actually have a need for cape in a seed.
Yeah, and I'm happy that I actually went and decided to check Bumper Cave and Graveyard Ledge as early as I did. But being like swordless for such a long time and hammerless, I was hoping to get the hammer before going to Thieves Town. And when I saw it on the Bumper Cave, I'm like, all right, good, I can get it. Wait, I don't have cape.
Yes, and cape is usually one of those that you find relatively early, as ZebraUnicorn heads into the pig fight.
Oh,
Yeah,
he was close?
Go ahead.
Was he close?
He just finished Aga 2.
Okay.
Yeah, the race was overall was really close. You both kind of had a death here and there that kind of put things behind. He checked the Bumper Cave well after you, but at that point, neither of you had been able to get to it. The big deficit came when on Trinex, he actually died to Trinex, where you were able to go through it on one go ahead, and it just kind of put him behind. And then he never checked Meyer's Shed while you did and got silvers, so he's going to be doing Temper Sword silverless on Ganon.
Yeah, I did not want to do silverless Master Swords, so I was checking all the extra spots that were along the way. When I got the silvers, I still hoped to get tempered, but at that point I knew I didn't need to like full clear swamp or a desert or to check checkerboard cave or any of that.
Yeah, I'm sure that would have to be a huge sigh of relief finding those silvers. I mean, even if you'd found a tempered sword already, like just getting silvers, not having to worry about silverless at all is always very nice.
I generally prefer tempered over silvers, but silvers is nice, of course.
Yeah, tempered sword is one of the most significant upgrades in the game, as you are able to swing at Ganon instead of have to do the spins, and that's never fun.
Yeah,
Zebra gets his torch glitch and is in the last phase of Ganon.
Yeah, and I don't know if we saw it, the vampire skewers were in the pedestal. Is that just arrows?
Yes,
10
that
arrows.
is just arrows.
I have never actually seen that message, so I wasn't sure. So nothing too exciting. Like I do like the message though.
So yes, what are your thoughts going up against Dude in the next round?
Honestly, I'm like very terrible at watching other runners, so I don't really know about his skill level. But I'm just happy to get to top 8. I just hope I can go one more slot so I can be guaranteed into the next tournament. But
It's definitely getting pretty intense. Top 8, all the races are starting to be really close. Runners are very equal skill level, and you're starting to see some really tight races, and so it's pretty exciting. I imagine getting that chance to advance is definitely feels pretty good for you, though.
Yeah.
And ZebraUnicorn finishes off the pig.
Yeah, and ZebraUnicorn finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 45 minutes, and 23 seconds. So GG's to ZebraUnicorn on finishing. Unfortunately, that is the final race in the tournament for ZebraUnicorn, but I'm sure you'll be able to see him in the next tournament, as well as streaming their own stuff throughout. So again, if you enjoyed what you saw, please give both of our runners a follow. They put on quite the show. And we'll be continuing racing for LewdDolphin, as we see ZebraUnicorn will be joining us shortly for an interview.
Yes. Congratulations again, LewdDolphin. Good call going into Meyer Shed for the silvers.
Thank you. I mean, the thing that made me happy, though, was going into Turtle Rock right after getting Hammer, instead of finishing off Ice Palace or whatever.
Yeah, I would have made the mistake on that. I would have finished Ice Palace, but that's why you're in this and I'm not.
Yeah, that is something that we actually both said that we probably would have done, is gone finished Ice Palace, and which would have been the wrong decision, of course.
I mean, I always feel like I've generally profited going to Turtle Rock instead of other places. It served me well in this tournament, actually. There was one race that I got all of the equipment I needed to enter Turtle Rock, basically, like, as I was first checking Death Mountain, and the laser hallway in Turtle Rock had the ice rod, and that kind of information really put me ahead.
Welcome, ZebraUnicorn. GG to you, sir.
GG.
Yeah, that was a fun seed. That one wasn't actually like trolly or anything. That was like interesting.
Limited equipment at the start. That was fun.
Yeah, this was like a hard gameplay seed. Like there was like you had to do a lot with like nothing.
Yeah.
Like
both of you had to do Master Sword without half magic on Trinex. Which unfortunately is where really where the biggest difference was for you, ZebraUnicorn, is you took it to death there. LewdDolphin did not, and that's kind of got a little bit of an advantage. And LewdDolphin checked Meyer Shed, and that's where silvers were, so they were able to have silvers going.
Oh man! Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Trinex thing. To be 100% honest, I've only done Master Sword, no safeties, Trinex once. And I died like 12 times doing it. So I was like super stressed because I was like, this is the play. I have to do this because it's a race. But I guess we're doing this live because the first time I did this, it was real bad. And then I died the first time and I was like, oh God. I said out loud to myself, I'm like, I think I can die once and still be in the race. If I die again, I know that's it. And the second time I got it and I was like, oh, thank God. But Zach probably did it anyway, so.
You were only a couple minutes behind at that point. The silvers really ended up making a big difference going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that's gotta be like. Do you know when we entered GT? Just like how close we were, like how far I was behind entering GT. Do you guys remember?
I don't remember. I think it was about 1:30.
It was about 4 minutes apart.
Yeah, I think it was about 4 minutes.
That's a pretty big difference. I wonder where the rest of that came from. I mean, the death was probably a lot of time. I don't know how long a Trinex fight takes, but that's probably like a couple minutes anyway.
I think it was the combination of that death and the death on Mothula.
Oh yeah, that was super tilting. I actually knew it. I knew I had the blue potion, and I was planning on just like, riding it to the edge. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but like I got hit by a spike and into Mothula. So instead of taking 1 heart, I took 2 hearts. So I thought I had a buffer, and then I just like died like out of nowhere, and I like couldn't react. So I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? like I knew I had 2 hearts, and I was like, all right, I can get hit 1 more time before I have to switch. and then I got hit twice like in sequence. I was like, oh man, like that was like a nightmare scenario.
So yes, that was really the difference going into Ganon's tower. And then the couple of silver arrows, the couple of fights where silver arrows are really useful, like Manmola and Ganon.
Yeah, I mean, silver's
also minor time difference, but being where you did Tower of Hera on your first trip up Death Mountain, Lude saved that for the very last dungeon, was able to just kill Moldorm and then go straight into Ganon's tower. That's probably not a lot of time, but that's, I mean, in a race where of a minute, an hour, 30, 40 minutes, a minute can be a pretty big time difference.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of routed it in with my other Death Mountain stuff, so it wasn't like I went up there just for that, I think. I don't know. I'm really bad at remembering what I did in races.
You did route it in with the rest of Death Mountain,
okay.
So it wasn't out of the way, but minor time. You know,
yeah, it's like, it's the little ledges that matter. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was... I felt like I was playing really well, so I'm not unhappy I lost. Aside from the 2 deaths, which was like the Mothula death was like... I was just like, oh, that sucks. And then the Trinex death was like, alright, I guess we're doing this live. I feel like everything else... I didn't like screw anything up. I feel like everything else is pretty clean, so I can't really be too upset about this race. So it was a good one.
Yeah, no, I really, both of you executed really well. LewdDolphin did have a death in Thieves Town where you blow the hole for the light to blinds fight. But other than that, both of you really had quite exceptional execution.
It was actually an intentional death because I had 1 heart and the remaining chest I knew had a small key and I couldn't check the big chest and I couldn't be blind, so I took the death just to get hearts.
That makes sense. I wasn't sure since you left Thieves Town after that, but that makes sense.
Did you not have Samaria when you went to Thieves Town?
Oh yeah, Samaria does work, I forgot.
Oh yeah, I killed with Samaria. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. I actually liked the Samaria blind fight, so I was actually kind of excited.
I forgot about that.
It's like so nonsense. You're just like, throw blocks at you.
Yeah, Kata Samaria blind fights are interesting.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite fight in the game. Like,
and you did very good with it.
Well, I'm glad now that that blind didn't have progression.
It did have a sword, but yeah.
Oh.
I got my first sword, and I was like, oh, come on, Seed, please. Like, I had to do this, like...
Yeah, LewdDolphin got their first sword on the purple chest, where ZebraUnicorn, you got your first one on blind, and then reverse the Master Sword.
Yeah, after I checked Hype Cave... I forget what was in Hype Cave, but it had something.
Hook shot.
Oh, right, and then I checked East Death Mountain, and then I eventually worked my way to doing Mothula and Blind with Fighter Sword.
How quickly did you dive into Ice? Because I did like a bunch of overworld stuff before I did that.
I had Agana's Cave, first chest of Swamp left, I think something else, but I don't remember what.
Did you do like Catfish and like all that Zora stuff?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah, I did too. That's like the stuff I did. I did Agana and all the Zora stuff because I had put that off. So I just want to make sure that like that wasn't. I was like, oh my god, if he's not doing this and he just went to Ice, I'm just like toast. Like.
Well, the only good time to route that is right around when you're routing in Pod.
Yeah, that's what I did it, but it was just like it ended up not being anything. So I was like, oh man, if you just bolted for Ice, I was just like, oh man, because you could do it. Like eventually, I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this. Like Ice without hammer, oh boy, and then the first chest is the cape, and I'm like, come on, Ice, please. Like,
when did you check Bumper Cave to see the hammer was there?
On my way to Pod, I did the north stuff that I could, and I checked Bumper Cave on the way over. So before I went to Pod, I knew the hammer was there. So I knew I was looking for Quake, a way to get into desert, and the cape to be go mode. So
yeah,
so I knew I was looking for cape.
It was one of the first things I did when I entered Dark World.
Yeah, I did like a bunch of my normal stuff, but like by the time I was going over that way, I checked. So that was good for me.
Right.
Oh,
You both went into Dark World just about the same time. Both checked the front part of Skull Woods, and Zebra, you went south into Village of Outcasts. LewdDolphin did the Graveyard Ledge and Bumper Cave checks. So basically one went one way, the other went the other way.
nice.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw the hammer, I was praying for that cape as fast as possible.
It was like the trolliest place. Just like the dungeon you never want to go into without a hammer.
Yeah.
It's like the first thing you learn is like never go into ice, like unless you can beat it, because you never want to go back. I was like,
Well, I mean, it doesn't really make a difference if it's the first chest of Ice
Yeah, I
Palace
know.
or the first chest of Swamp. Both are pretty awful. I'd say the first chest of Swamp is worse at this point because it's a pendant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't check
it's
that.
a little
What was
longer
it?
to get to.
Was it just nothing? I never went to Swamp.
Neither runners went into Swamp, so
Oh,
No.
okay. I thought you were saying you went into Swamp. Okay. Okay. that makes
No,
sense.
no. I put that off.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, gentlemen, any final thoughts on this, on the seed, on the tournament, on the race?
I had fun.
Yeah, that was a good time. I guess since I'm toast now, I'll say my parting words. Well, good luck in the rest of the tournament, LewdDolphin. You definitely have the skills to go all the way. You are the most fearsome competitor I've played yet.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's like, you know. But yeah, thanks to everyone that's running this thing. The fact that this is just like a community-run event where like everyone's just doing this with their free time is like incredible. Like the amount of like production value that goes into this is like astonishing, considering it's all just people just doing it because they love the game. Thanks for everyone that rooted for me. If you are going to be at AGDQ, say hi. I'll be there. But I guess thanks to everyone for all the hard work they do to make this great.
once again, GG's to both runners. Congratulations to LewdDolphin going on, and ZebraUnicorn. I anticipate we'll be seeing you in the next tournament.
Oh yeah, I'm not done battling.
Awesome.
It was a pleasure facing against you, Zebra. I will fight in your honor.
Thanks.
Awesome. Well, and just in case we have not said enough, please give both of our runners a follow. They put on quite the show for you, and LewdDolphin will be continuing racing in the tournament, and we'll see both of them, I'm sure, in the next tournament, which I believe is in the spring. And so, yeah, please give both of the runners a follow. It was fantastic. And a quick shout out to our restreamer, SD Hazel, for making all of this possible, and Draco Falcone for tracking for us.
Also, a big shout out to that guy, Sir Laugh-A-Lot MW. He does great commentary.
Oh, well, thanks. Shout out to DM Stewart as well. It was great commentating with you.
It was lots of fun.
Yeah, even with the minor technical issues we had at the start and throughout. Sorry about that to anybody watching. Had a few technical issues, but we made it through. And I will leave the last word to you. It was a great race.
Well, it's been a lot of fun getting to commentate on this race. And for Sir Laugh-A-Lot MW, I'm DM Stewart 1981. Good night, everybody.
Good night.